With its proclivity for celebrations, we are in the festive city of Edmonton. The WNBA leaves the U.S. for the 4th time ever and comes to Canada for the 2nd time in front of a packed house here in Edmonton at Rogers Place. The Sparks and the Storm ready to do battle, and everybody in the house excited for tonight's game, and it will be a return of sorts, a homecoming for this person. Kia Nurse will lead a trio of people on the team ready to get things going in LA. Paul Jones alongside Amy Audebert. Amy, Kia's come home, she's performing at home, but she's got a great job, a big job leading a new crew in LA.
Right, well, Kia will be the first to tell you how rare but special it is to play right here on home soil, but this is the first time she's doing it in a WNBA jersey. It's actually the first time she's going to be playing in that beautiful purple and gold jersey with the Sparks, and obviously she's going to come in and establish herself as a big, strong guard. She's going to knock down open shots when they're open. That's all on the court, Jonesy. When we talk about the intangibles, true vet. She's playing in her 6th season. She's a pro. She's going to be asked to mentor this very exciting rookie class. 2 lottery picks for the Sparks. Cameron Brink, 2-time National Defensive Player of the Year. She is so long. And then Rickea Jackson coming off a fantastic season at Tennessee, averaging 20 and 8. And I think she's so explosive and really looking forward to seeing that translate into the WNBA.
Well, while LA is rebuilding, Seattle kind of going the other way. They've got championships. They want another one. And they're more reloading, Amy, when you look at the big 3 that they've put together going into this season.
Yeah, they had an 11-29 regular season last year, and I think that they had a mega offseason going and acquiring Skylar Diggins-Smith and Nneka Ogwumike, 2 household names that know what it's required to win a championship. And Ezi McLemore also going to be a core part of this team. But if you look over to your right, Jewell Loyd, this is her team. She is the face of the franchise. Post Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart area, Jewell Loyd is coming in as the reigning WNBA scoring champ last year. She also led the league in field goal attempts, 3-point attempts, free throw attempts, so she's also driving in there, but now she's got a whole lot of help. So this is not about sacrifice for her, it's about investment, right? Like understanding that this team is going to push for a championship. They're going to do it right now this year, and it starts tonight for them. Well, the time is now for Seattle. The exhibition season about to get underway here in Edmonton in a Canadian sense, but there's lots more to do, and we've got some stuff to show you right now. You can tell that I make it look easy. What's up, Canada? It's a breeze though. It's a illegal. You can tell that I make it look. You can tell that I make it look. You can tell that I make it look. Double take for a second look, bruh. You can tell that I make it look. You can tell that I make it look. What else is in that bag? You can tell that I make it look. Ain't no wonder why I got. Here comes Clarendon, coast to coast, lays it up and in.
Fans, welcome to the WNBA Canada game. Now let's meet the starting lineup for tonight's game. First for the Los Angeles Sparks. Starting at guard from Duke, number 4, Lexi Brown. Starting at guard from California, number 25, Laisha Clarendon. Starting at forward from Stanford, number 22, Cameron Brink. Starting at forward from Wake Forest, number 5, De'Erica Hamby. And starting at forward from Hamilton, Ontario, from the University of Connecticut, number 10, Kia Nurse. The Sparks are led by head coach Kurt Miller. One more time, make some noise for the Los Angeles Sparks. Now introducing the starting lineup for the Seattle Storm. Starting at forward from Stanford, number 3, Nneka Ogwumike. Starting at guard from Mississippi State, number 35, Victoria Vivians. Starting at center from Tennessee, number 21, Mercedes Russell. Starting at guard from Notre Dame, number 4, Skylar Diggins-Smith. And starting at guard from Lincolnwood, Illinois, number 24, Jewel Lloyd. The Storm are led by head coach Noel Quinn. Give it up one more time for the Seattle Storm.
The WNBA Canada game is presented by Tangerine Bank, proud partner of the WNBA and their fans. Time for our starting lineups as we take a look at both teams getting set. You talked about Amy Kia Nurse. She is out there running the point. Cameron Brink in the starting lineup, and then Seattle looking to load it up already.
And you keep in mind that they've had about 5 days of training camp, so they're coming in here both. And the common denominator is Nneka Ogwumike. Let's not forget, right? She left LA, joined Seattle.
Well, she'll be one that's expected to lead. Let's go to PA announcer Jacob Skeppel.
Welcome from the Los Angeles Sparks, Canada native Kia Nurse.
Hey, Canada, how you feeling? On behalf of us, I just want to thank you so much for coming out and supporting us in the W. This is a really, really special time for women's basketball, so you better get on board now. And if we want this to be more of a common thing here in Canada, let's make sure we show them why, all right? Have fun.
All right, Kia Nurse addressing the crowd in her home country, but we've got more. The third member of our team is ready to go. Let's go to Kayla Gray.
Hey, thank you so much, Jonesy. Well, that speech right there, Kia said she had no idea what she was saying, but we heard her loud and clear for her call of support for women's basketball in this country. I asked her about the feelings of coming, playing on home soil, knowing that that's not something that's common in her career. She said, honestly, coming into this game, I came in with so many nerves during the day. But it's a great situation for me. It's a situation I never actually thought that I would be in, being on the floor, being a part of this movement here in Canada in terms of women's basketball and the presentation that we have of being a role model. I have nerves, of course, but I'm just excited to see the crowd, the energy. I'm really lucky to be here, Matt.
Well, we're lucky to be here too, and it is a great time for basketball in Canada. And I've been told it's not women's basketball, it's just basketball. And if you're a hooper, that's what it's about. A nearly packed house here in Edmonton, and we are underway. Of course, LA in the familiar purple and gold, and Seattle in their very familiar green and white. Nurse with the first touch is no good. This is Skylar Diggins-Smith. The star out of Notre Dame has come to Seattle, and she's expecting wins, Amy.
And don't tell me it's a preseason game. Look at these women competing on a post-up right off the opening tip, and that Dearica Hamby who's fighting for position. This is what you love to see, and you love that these women came out with this attack mentality in front of this crowd.
Well, Coach Quinn talked about having that presence in the post, and we saw them look at it right away. Diggins-Smith in the lane. The left-hand floater is up and in. Soft touch by Skylar. Gets Seattle on the board. LA working in the half court. Lexi Brown knocks it down.
And you look at that, and that is their vets, right? Making things happen. Brown, Clarendon, Kia Nurse, all on the perimeter. De'Erica Hamby. These women, like, they've been in the league. They know how to play, and they're snapping into that offense quickly.
Well, that Brown is familiar to NBA people. Her dad, Dee Brown. And Victoria Vivians comes back and gives Seattle the 1-point lead. Lexi Brown always has great handles. Getting into the lane there, has it knocked away.
Now, Lexi Brown, she was sick, so she missed some time last year. It was unfortunate because she's having such a great season in the 12 games, averaging 12 and 2. But in the last 2 seasons she's played, she's averaging over 40% from 3.
Head coach of the Seattle Storm, familiar to many Canadians. On the inbound, Clarendon kicks it out. Hamby up top, good look, can't get it down. Long shots, long rebounds, Amy. Another touch for Los Angeles. They double Brown, tie her up. And we're going to have a held ball. Head coach Noelle Quinn, 4th season as head coach. Played at UCLA, but Canadians will affectionately know her as the lead assistant for the Canadian national team. And she said to us, Amy, as we saw her leaving the news conference, "You guys headed to France?" she's all gassed up.
Well, I also love when this game, you talk about this game, she said, don't forget, from LA, played at UCLA. She watched the Sparks. She knows what it's like to show up to a gym and watch your heroes. And that's what today means for so many people in this building. And I love that she really does understand that, Jonesy.
Seattle controls the tip. They've got a 1-point edge. Diggins Smith, cross court. Russell finds Jewel Lloyd, knocks it down. That thing is clean. That thing was clean in the bottom of the well for 3. The double team forces a turnover. Diggins Smith now has it knocked away, and here comes LA. And Clarendon takes steps.
You want to talk about one of the most prolific scorers that we've seen in a long time. Look how quickly she gets her feet. Her footwork is immaculate. And Jewel Lloyd, you cannot love this game and not love watching her play.
She's got a whole bag of tricks that she opens up when she wants. With the roll pass there. And Ogwumike knocks it down. That'll be something I'm sure we'll see a lot of from Seattle this year, Amy.
Yeah, and she's not a traditional post player in that she's so versatile. She's a 3-level scorer, really. You saw in the mid-range, but the 2-man game with Jewel Lloyd, she's got to be so happy to have some help this year.
Clarendon, arguably the leader. Now we've got a defensive 3-second.
And here's Nneka getting into the space off a handoff. And don't forget, 12 seasons with LA. This is our first time not wearing a Sparks jersey. And that's got to be a little bit tough in terms of new faces, new organization, but then also expecting to be a leader.
Yep.
That can't be easy, but I think when that ball goes up, there's some clarity and just play the game.
Right, it's still basketball. Head coach Curt Miller for the LA Sparks. And he joked about all the time he spent in Hamilton, having coached Kia's aunt, her sister, and then now Kia, so.
30 years ago, he said he's been in the Nurse family for 30 years.
You'd make him an honorary Canadian. Lexi Brown knocks it down. Another 3 in the bottom of the well. 9-7.
I got to tell you, for 2 teams that have been in training camp for 5 days, they are getting great looks offensively, like really connected on both sides.
Interested to see if the double teaming continues for Seattle. Deep 3, no good for Vivians. Here comes Lexi. She's got all kinds of energy. We had a great chance to chat with her in the pregame. They turn it over there, though. Here comes Diggins Smith. Jewel Lloyd, the off-balance runner, no good. You said Clarendon. Coach Miller says he's his undisputed leader. Kia Nurse with a 3 in the corner.
And of all the things that Kia can do and really wants to showcase, I think it's that outside shot, the ability to stretch defense, and Seattle lost her in the corner. That is an automatic knockdown shooter right there.
Lloyd, three, stare down.
Someone took it personal. How about that?
Well, we had a chance to talk to Jewel, and we're going to get more into this, but she's very good friends with Kyrie Irving, so keep that in mind as you watch her. Kia says you can take that one back.
There is a little game within the game happening right now, Jonesy. But again, this is a preseason game. Like, this is how you come out and play. I love it, and we can't talk about it enough for these fans. What is it, close to 17,000 here?
Kia says, this is my kitchen too. I work here. This is Canada. Corner three, no good from Vivians. Dearica Hamby coming front court. She knows what it's like to win a title. Drive, great. Dump down to Cameron Brink, who lays it in.
And you hear the crowd go wild. This is another one of those just electric players coming into this draft class that has created a brand for herself in college. And I love that they get her a nice open layup to get going.
LA gets the turnover. Hamby on the run out, lays it in. Timeout Seattle. LA has stolen the lead. And Kia Nurse says, I'm familiar with this side of the border.
Well, stand on guard for thee, or how about in the corner wide open, knock it down.
We're just getting going. We'll be back with more in a minute.
The first quarter is brought to you by Subway. Try the Nashville-style hot chicken, part of the new globally inspired Subway series.
I get really awkward with a microphone and a lot of people. But when you hear your own voice and you're like, oh, I sound like that. What? I'm 28 now. I'm almost 30. But my pussy's old. Older. Where am I going? Watch them run out. Watch them run out here. Yay! Yeah, woo! Good team.
Kia Nurse wearing the mic for us tonight, and we'll be able to eavesdrop and listen in throughout the course of the evening.
Well, one of the biggest assets to leadership is communication, constantly talking and keeping your teammates up.
Sammy Whitcomb into the game, finds Jewel Lloyd, who knocks it down again. McDonald, deep three, no good. Hamby with the rebound, great footwork underneath and the finish. Seattle cuts the lead to three, 17-14, 4-17, first frame. Lloyd, deep three, no good. Here comes LA. Lexi Brown right up Main Street. Nurse sidestep three, got it again. Kia on the bottom of the well.
So that's not catch and shoot. That's another level up there. Using that ball, using that bounce to get into your own rhythm. That's a self-creator.
Russell on the screen. Diggins finds Lloyd. This one rattles out. And trying to hustle it up court, LA turns it over. And Amy, we're going to see that, as you said, only 5 days into camp, but the familiar stuff stays with it, like Kia Nurse.
Yeah, and Kia shot 35% from three last year in Seattle. That's not bad, but I'm going to tell you something. Her expectations way up, and that's one of the biggest things that she's going to bring, I think, offensively to this LA team, is the ability to knock that down on offense.
LA by 8. And foul called as Skylar Diggins-Smith turns the corner.
I love that they went and got Skylar Diggins-Smith. When you talk about elite competitor,
yeah,
that is, I mean, she's a tremendous basketball player, but that's not something that you read on a box. That's not something that you can really measure. But when you watch her play, I mean, no breaks, no reps off, and that's the biggest thing I think she's going to bring to this team right away.
Well, she was chatting with Kayla Gray earlier today at shoot-around. Kayla, what do you got?
Yeah, I think one thing as she puts in that basket there that she's loving about Seattle is how intentional they've been with making her feel comfortable to show up as herself. She said it's been awesome. You know, our basketball ops leadership, everyone from the top down knows exactly what I bring to the table, and they've all empowered me, made sure that I know exactly where I need to be, what I need to have. They get it for me. That is huge, especially coming off of that second maternity leave, to have that level of support, guys.
Another turnover for LA. Thanks, Kayla, and it turns into an easy run out for Joyner Holmes. Turnaround, fall away. That's the other high draft pick, Rakia Jackson, and she's got some serious game.
Did you see that? Turn around off 1 foot.
Skylar Diggins-Smith has take that one with you. 9 of 12 LA after that make from Jackson. And we got a 3-point game as we approach the 2-minute mark. Nurse uses the screen, wheels into the lane, and turnovers the undoing of LA right now. Jewel Lloyd touch pass. Sammy Whitcomb had a great look, couldn't get it down. And Nneka in there, Bumake fighting, and she'll be fouled.
You look at all the vets for Seattle that are touching the ball. I'm going to go back to Skylar because her impact, this is a team that is going to try their best to compete for a championship. Look at that, just calmness, ease. You talk about all the offense. You put that beside Jewel Lloyd. I mean, how many defenses are going to come in and say, you got to get the ball out of Jewel Lloyd's hands? Then you have Skylar Diggins-Smith on the perimeter. This is a Notre Dame starting backcourt. And I can't imagine anybody more excited about that than maybe Muffet McGraw sitting there and with a big smile on her face watching her two former collegiate players who played together, by the way, for one season for the Fighting Irish.
Bumake knocks it down. She's not bad to have on the court either if you try to get the ball out of Jewel's hands, right?
Again, reload. This coming off 11 and 29 last year. I mean, they got some high hopes, and I see why.
McDonald gets it to Cook, who turns it over. Back comes Seattle, transition. Bumake almost too unselfish there, Amy. She was trying to get it to Lloyd, or to Holmes rather, but she could have had a layup herself.
Well, sharing is caring. I think that's part of this point in the season too, right? Like it's part of getting everyone touches, and these two players just figuring out each other too. They're all figuring out each other, passing the ball, touches, where certain players like it, and that's only on one end because I think there's something about defensive chemistry as well.
Holmes gets it to Melvin. Sammy Whitcomb gets into the lane. Couldn't finish. Zia Cook, front court. Nia Cloud out of Michigan State. Cook's jumper is short. Saved with great hustle. And now tied up, we've got a jump ball. It's a great save by Stephanie Talbot.
And Drew did a great job of establishing position. She was in almost box-out position, but I like that. And patience, too. I mean, she's a pretty young player. She's 25 years old. This is only her second WNBA season. Played for the Chinese national team in the 2020 Tokyo Games. Averaged 15 and 8 in that Olympics.
She's getting a look here with the Sparks. And LA turns it over again. First preseason game, as we said, only the 4th time they've left the U.S. for a game, and the 2nd time in Canada. Jade Melvin gets all the way to the cup, and she's got 2 and a coupon in her back pocket for 1 more.
So my favorite offense, Jonesy, is you go till somebody stops you. How about this? Look at the take. No one's taking a charge. I got to go all the way. This is a player who was the youngest player in the WNBA last season. And that's not fun always, right?
No.
You come in, but how about, I mean, she goes 22 for 41 from 2, 3 for 20 from 3. 3-ball wasn't there last year, but the experience of getting in there and fighting, literally the youngest player in the league. How about the toughness on that end?
Well, they say there are 2 great plays in this world, a streetcar named Desire and take it to the basket. I haven't seen the former. Cook up top, double teamed again. Jackson, Cobb, tees it up. Very great patience, very good patience, Amy, out of the double team for Jackson not to panic there after receiving the pass.
And I love that she took the shot. I think sometimes it's more important to take the shot than make the shot in terms of the defense goes, oh, you're going to shoot that. She thought,
yeah.
you know, Jackson shot 34% last year from long range at Tennessee, but I think as a WNBA player, professional player, all you do is sit in the gym and get shots up, and so I like that she takes it.
Melbourne having trouble, and LA takes it away. 15 seconds, quarter running down. Cook, and they got a foul on the pass off.
You see the defensive intensity from LA. That's something that Kurt Miller is going to demand and command every possession. This team was a top 4 defense last year on the floor, not giving up, relentless pursuit on the ball. They were top 2 in the league in points off turnovers last year. Again, a team that really struggled in terms of where they finished in the league at 17 and 23. Their defense was great. You don't put on that jersey and play for Kurt Miller if you're not going to do that type of stuff.
Well, he talked about that in the pregame. Bring your hard hat, bring your effort. Those things, even though it's preseason, it doesn't matter. They should still be there.
Well, he was very blunt with us, right? He said, I believe in competitive camps.
Yeah.
And he said, there are 4 or 5 players that I'm not going to be able to keep. And this is auditioning. And I loved his comments pregame, too, about this game, because he said, I want to see what our 16 available players look like when the lights are on.
Yeah.
Like, that's competitive. Who doesn't want to break down when they're guarding the stars on the other end, right? You're guarding Eka, you're guarding Jewel, you're guarding Sky. Who's going to go out there and fight? And this is an audition for so many of these young women.
First free throw good from Clouden. Misses the second, but LA gets it back. Oh, and Jackson on the negative step. She started her assault on the basket, steps out of bounds.
But you see that stride at 6'2". She can get that down, that explosive first step from the perimeter. That's a tough guard.
1 quarter in the books. Seattle with a 1-point lead. We're just getting going. A 10-0 run for Seattle to end the quarter. Second quarter when we come back from Edmonton. Storm lead it by 1. Connections. Antonio Davis, a former Toronto Raptor, and his daughter, Kayla Davis, playing with the Seattle Storm, and we talked about it earlier. Dee Brown with Lexi, and Kayla had a chance to catch up with Lexi.
Thanks so much, Jonesy. Well, Lexi, I saw pregame earlier in the day, the long embrace between you and Aneka. It must feel a little bit weird just playing basketball against her, having played with her so long.
It's so weird. I mean, when I came into the league, we were opponents, you know, but those few years I had in LA with her were so amazing. She was a great vet to me. I learned so much from her, so she left the Sparks in good hands.
When you think about the defensive intensity you guys have had in the first quarter, although it be 4 games, maybe 5 days practice with your group, how have you guys been able to get organized as well as you have offensively?
We just have a lot of length, and that's something that we were missing a little bit last season was length and a lot of athleticism on all positions. At the end of the day, defense is all about effort, so we just told everybody to come out here, play hard. We're going to make mistakes, but as long as they're aggressive mistakes, it'll be cool.
Good luck in the second quarter. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Seattle up empty on the first touch as Vivian's jumper comes up short. Kia Jackson, 4th pick overall, number 2 for the Sparks. Zaya Cook gets into the lane, is bumped by Jewel Lloyd, who doesn't like the call.
Isaiah Cook is another one of those really young, super ultra talented players. Don't forget, they played at South Carolina for Don Staley. That's a great, strong take. 3 Final Fours, won the national championship in 2022. So many accomplished players, and this is part of that conversation of expansion, right? I mean, 144 back spots, and wow, I mean, so many of them have competed at the highest level, and then there's others who are at home watching. That's what Nneka talked about with us. She said there's a half a league watching games at home right now that should be playing.
Well, it's a great time for this league, and maybe they take advantage with some expansion over the next little while. Jordan Holmes with a great move. Getting to the basket with the left hand and laying it in. And Melbourne takes the foul, trying to pressure Nia Clouden. You see Kurt Miller. We could see him signaling. Again, they've only had 4 or 5 days of practice. He's moving people around, trying to get people in the right spots. Yuru knocks down a 3. They left her open, and the bench celebrating for her.
And that was comfortable. And by the way, you talk about rainbow. That was a high arcing shot.
Lloyd misses the jumper under duress. Diggins Smith fall away is no good on the rebound. We got a great one going here. It's only the first preseason game, but very competitive. Everybody auditioning. Short roll, the jumper missed and knocked out of bounds to Seattle.
Ball awarded to Seattle. Substitution in the game, Seattle score number 3.
Oh, look at that 3. A little relocation out to the perimeter. 6, she's listed at 6'7". And I mean, when you get that pocket up top, that's a tough shot to defend, contested or uncontested.
Skylar Diggins Smith on the handle. Gets into the lane, and the jackknife layup is no good, but she's fouled. Great hesitation there, and good read, Amy, on that screen and roll to get to the cup.
It is super aggressive, and you just can't speak enough into how much she's going to impact this team. Also, and mom, and Noelle Quinn talked about that. There's a burden in that, right? Just being a busy but present mom, and I think when you come back, you're ready to compete and go. You take it to a different level. I think when you look at this Seattle franchise, they had some wonderful years. Sue Bird, Breanna Stewart. Like, there is a championship expectation with Plant putting on that jersey, and I think there's certain people such as Skylar Diggins Smith who live for that.
Well, 28 years, Seattle's got 4 titles. Jackson down the lane. Says, I'm here. Number 4 pick overall, Rakia Jackson. Got to stop the ball, Amy.
You know, the ball's the only thing they can score on the court, so it is somewhat of a priority, the aggressiveness, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her just because I think she's got so much talent, but then just her body. She's got a great pro body and super explosive to the rim. Loved watching her compete, especially in the NCAA tournament.
Diggins Smith, great pass. She finds Dulcie Fankum Engiadu. Great screen and roll sequence there. This is Talbot up top. Jackson gonna go to work, pull up on the vet, and it's short. Seattle looking for the lead on this trip. Work before, they go to it again, but they mishandle the ball. Here comes Cook. Yuru. Talbot on the bounce. And we got a foul as Skylar Diggins Smith gets caught on the screen, and he's called on the foul.
Seattle's certainly trying to fight through a lot of screens. And looks like they're not looking to switch.
Yeah, it looks like they're selectively blitzing some of them too, Amy.
You look at Seattle and you knew they were going to be great offensively. I gotta say, they look really sharp defensively too.
Cook with a fall away from 12 feet. This is Jewel Lloyd. Screen and roll. Bumake short, knocked out of bounds. Amy, we talked to Jewel Lloyd about her friendship with Kyrie Irving, and we saw her there on the read and the screen and roll. She talked about Kyrie and how they talk about being good in tight spaces and the reads because they get double teamed a lot.
And it's the footwork. You look at Kyrie and he's one of the most skilled players in the world. I gotta say, you see Jewel Lloyd with that type of confidence when she's got the ball in her hands too.
Diggins Smith gets it to crawl over the front rim to tie the game. Cook up top. There's the double, and they throw it away. 2-on-1. On the lob to Jewel Lloyd. Seattle stretching the floor vertically, Amy, not just laterally. The turnover and a 2-on-1, great conversion.
Yeah, like women can do it too, don't get it twisted. This is how you get a crowd pumped up. Little backside help from Diggins Smith, running up the court, and then the timing of that, that's a pretty finish from Jewel Lloyd.
The second quarter is brought to you by Skechers Canada, the comfort technology company.
The Edmonton grads helping establish basketball in Canada. Canadian women's team from 1912 to 1915 to 1940. North American record for women's sports team in terms of winning percentage. They rarely lost. 96% winning percentage, and in 2010, there was a plaque at the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame to commemorate them in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I can say this as a board member with Canada Basketball. Edmonton's been a great place for basketball and housed our senior women's team for a lot of time. We're thrilled to be here for this one tonight.
And there's so much history here in Edmonton. So 1915, say that one again.
On the drive. Her dad would have been proud of that one. Kayla Davis putting her head down. And I'm telling you, her dad, Antonio, was one of the toughest players in the NBA. And that time, she put her head down, got to the cup, and got fouled.
And this is a player who tore her Achilles was out last season, and she talked a little bit about it during camp and said, obviously, like, that's not fun at all. It's a rough time, but it may have been one of the best things that happens because you take that time, she said, to talk about falling in love with the game in a different layer. Not that she didn't before, but at 6'2", with her explosive power, another South Carolina Gamecock player.
Yeah, talked to her dad yesterday on the phone, who was going to try and make it, but was really proud of how hard his little girl has worked to get back in shape and get back on the court. Talked about going overseas and watching her grind.
Now that's got to be one of the toughest injuries.
It is. She's come back from it. She's out here giving everything she has. Gosh, I'm gonna feel old. I feel really old when I think about a 7-year-old Kayla Davis sitting on Antonio's lap as we did an interview during his time in Toronto. She laughed at me when I told her that. I said, it's true.
And I mean, she's a grown woman playing pro basketball at the highest of levels. Sorry, Jonesy.
Gotta love it. In the post, Agwumike, a rare miss down low. Dietrich inside. Jackson has it knocked away. And Seattle's going to come away with the bouncing orange.
And this is the defense from Seattle. Again, this is what Sky brings, Diggins Smith brings to this team, right? Like, you saw the lunge, the save, and then the staying on the ball, but then also the reaction to retain possession, right?
Yes.
Every possession matters.
Up top, Lloyd. Clock winding down. Fall away, short. Long rebound, Davis runs it down. Jewel Lloyd. Russell tees up a long jumper and knocks it down.
Mercedes Russell is such an important piece to this team as well, and she has been for Seattle for years. That two-man game, working it with Jewel Lloyd, those two should have chemistry. They've had a lot of reps together over the years, and that one, it was seamless.
Ray Burrell into the game for LA. This is Dietrich. Tries to find Cook, and LA really having their issues with turnovers, Amy. And not unexpectedly being the first game after 4 or 5 days of camp.
Well, and it's no coincidence that Coach Miller makes a substitution now, gets Kia Nurse back in, gets Lexi Brown back in. These are the perimeter players. And how about Monique Billings also out there for the first time tonight?
Seattle has scored 14 points off LA turnovers. Lloyd to Holmes, into the lane, fall away by Russell, no good, but she's fouled.
In 2022, Mercedes Russell had surgery for recurrent low pressure headaches, that's a tough one. And it's taken her some time to get back. I love her patience and her presence in the post. She's 6'6", she's been part of championship teams, 2 championships with Seattle at 2018 and 2021. So you're bringing back, again, experience. You're bringing back somebody who I don't think she expects to take a ton of shots. I don't think she needs the ball in her hands, but she's going to impact winning because of her screen setting, because of her defensive ability around the rim, and then just like simple stuff, drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line. I remember watching Seattle years ago, and just, you know that she has such an impact on this team.
Well, Seattle, as we said, 4 championships in the team's history, and they know what winning's about. Dietrich finds Billings. On the roll, turns it over. Timing not quite there. This is Sammy Whitcomb. Joyner Holmes. Kayla Davis, 3, no good. Lexi Brown back in the game for LA. We tick towards halftime, Seattle with a 6-point lead, and Brown is fouled. Gotta love the spirit of Lexi Brown. We saw her chatting with Kayla. We talked to her. Effervescent personality.
Right, and this is Kayla Davis again, just getting back out there, because with her length, doesn't need to foul that shooter in Lexi Brown.
Let's take a timeout. We'll come back with the conclusion of the half after this.
Well, when it comes to the WNBA season, Canadian talent ever so present. Those are just some of the faces that are going to be debuting their 2024 season for this league. All Canadians, and we're all looking, of course, to the summer and the Olympic program. One person, of course, who has been a part of the building when it comes to Canada basketball is Noelle Quinn, head coach, of course, for the Seattle Storm. When asked about what it is about Canada basketball and the growth, just what she's liking so much, she says it's a lot of hard work. Obviously, there's hard work, but here in Canada, there's hard work. Everybody's so warm. Everybody's so open to learn. That's the first thing she realized when she was here. She says the talent at the collegiate level, also, of course, at the professional stage, is something that excites her. She likes the fact that the infrastructure seems to be growing, and she has really, really learned a lot when it comes to coaching at the Olympic level. Jonesy?
Well, Victor LaPena, our head coach of the senior women's team, here in attendance tonight. And like I said, Edmonton is a place that has housed our senior women's team, ranked 5th in the world right now. And shout out to Michael Bartlett, CEO Canada Basketball, and the team for helping put this thing together. We're looking for some hardware and medals of some nice colors, Amy. I want to wear some jewelry when this thing is all done in July.
Well, this entire country better be fired up for this summer between both the men's and women's team. And there she is, Kia Nurse, who, by the way, just got dinged for a foul, but she was one purple jersey in the middle of about 4 Seattle jerseys fighting for the rebound. I love the toughness there.
I'm doing my French on the app for France this summer, so.
Yeah, Paris is, I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Seattle with the lead. Drive by Holmes. And she missed everything. Lexi Brown deep three, no good. Wanted the foul call, didn't get it. Kiana Williams back. Holmes squares up on Billings. Sammy Whitcomb, deep three, no good. Great box up by Billings. Aaron McDonald, the Arizona Wildcat. This is Brown working on Davis. McDonald in the lane, stop shot, no good. Rebound back up and in by Billings. Great job on the offensive glass.
Both Billings and McDonald played for the Atlanta Dream last season.
Joyner Holmes tees it up and knocks it down. They are resetting the game clock.
I love the two-woman game, and sometimes as a post player, when you have a tough screen, that's all you need to do, and just a simple relocation, step out to the three and target hands up to knock it down.
Seattle on the steal again. Holmes lays it in.
And that time her feet moved a little bit
Yes.
more than off the ball screen.
Well, she gave us some pretty left-handed finishes earlier, and then after a three and the steal, she's putting some points on the board. Another turnover. Timing there. Not good for Seattle, or for LA.
The continuities, again, 5 practices in, you totally get it. This is the stuff I think, as a coach, though that does bother you a little bit, was that previous turnover, right? Because that's, I'm not gonna say unforced, but that's in the open court, and you gotta be a little bit cleaner with the ball than that. But LA's hanging in because they're shooting 52% from the field.
This is Kiana Williams. First half running down, Seattle with the ball in the lead. Whitcomb, far side, shot clock down to 3. She's got to go, takes a quick peek, at least gets it up on the rim. They get the offensive rebound. Williams turns the corner, kick out, Whitcomb, no good, and that'll end the half. Couple of good looks for Seattle, and couldn't get it down.
How about the compete level, though, coming out in this first look for both squads? You're going to expect mistakes, but I think the compete level on both sides of the ball has been great. And let's do it again for a second half. How about that?
Yes, sir. It's recess time, but don't go anywhere. Halftime up next. Third quarter about to get underway, but first, here's Kayla Gray with Allison Sandmeyer-Graves, the CEO of Canadian Women in Sport.
Hey, thank you so much, Paul. Well, Allison, first and foremost, I got to get your reaction on just the energy in this building. Is it better than you expected?
There are 17 million fans of women's sport in this country. It's one thing to know it. It's another thing to feel it. This is so much fun.
You know, when we're talking about expansion, a lot of people wondering when that WNBA team is going to come north of the border. A lot of questions of what we do with this energy, the tangible things that we can do, those that are watching. What can fans do to push the pressure on investment in sport for women?
Yeah, the louder the fans can be, the better. And by loud, I mean buy the tickets, watch it online, watch it when it's on TV, buy the merchandise. Make it known that Canada loves basketball, Canada loves women's basketball, and we want it up here in the north, playing week in, week out.
Absolutely. Turning up the volume on that advocacy, and hopefully investors can show up to the table as well. Allison, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Paul?
All right, Kayla, back underway. Seattle has the first touch of the second half, and Interesting, we see a lot of the big names on the floor. And there's Russell with the finish, Skylar Diggins-Smith with the breakdown and the laydown for the layup.
And Clarendon had so much pressure on Diggins-Smith, who remained so calm, late shot clock to make that pass.
Cameron Brink, fall away, no good. Diggins-Smith uses the screen, pulls up for the three without success. There's a rim run by Cameron Brink. She started her post up around the top of the lane, holding off Russell, and laid it in.
Did you see her target hand at 6'4", how long she is? That's a nice target for any of her teammates running in transition.
Lloyd off the screen, short. Lasia Clarendon. Coach Miller calls her the leader. Brink, three in the corner, yes sir. Splash down in the bottom of the well for the #2 overall pick.
You start establishing yourself as a three-point shooter at that position.
LA with a quick run to cut the lead. Jewel Lloyd is fouled on the take. Cameron Brink, the #2 overall pick. Amy, as you said, establishing herself.
Right, look at, again, you love the running in transition, the finish. You know, it looked like she was under the basket here, but look at the extra pass to the corner, right into her hands. Talk about her relationship with Steph Curry, so maybe some influence there, but what I absolutely love is you're looking at offensive stuff, two-time National Defensive Player of the Year. This year, she's the reigning Naismith Hall of Fame Lisa Leslie Award winner, which means she's the top center in the country, and there's your pictures. I love her face as Steph is handing him. He's like, Cameron, go shoot the perimeter shot. I promise you're gonna love it.
Well, their parents met in college. Cameron told me that this afternoon, confirmed that. I'd read that, but I wanted to make sure. And then Steph's parents are the godparents for Cameron Brink, and Cameron Brink's parents are the godparents for Steph Curry.
You're saying they spent a lot of time in basketball gyms together.
And a foul on Clarendon, and Kayla Gray's got more on Cameron Brink.
Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, you mentioned that connection. Well, Cameron tells me that her circle, solid. And that circle is one that she's leaned on a lot when it comes to getting advice heading into this WNBA stage. She says, asking people just what it takes to be a professional, routines. But those are things, as you mentioned, that relationship with Steph, that she's been able to watch. And now she's at a point where she's practicing. She says, you know, what they always tell me is to just put in work every day, especially when I wake up, set the tone that way, and fall in love with the game, fall asleep with it, fall asleep being in love with the game too, guys.
Hey, hard work never, ever goes wrong. It always pays off. Maybe not at the time you exactly need it to, but when you work hard, it will pay off.
And hard work meets confidence. She just posted up Mercedes Russell, an established center in this league, and won that battle drawing the foul.
Clarendon. Dearica Hamby, one dribble into the corner. Nurse tees up a three, no good. Hamby on the stick back. Cuts the lead to three.
That's solid offense right there, making an extra pass, crashing the offensive board. Kurt Miller probably had a conversation about offense in the locker room. Here's Hamby right here, but it started from the trap out of the ball screen, and LA handled it. They popped the ball out, made the extra pass, and then again the tough finish. You saw the gather with the ball and the strong finish there from Hamby.
Dearica Hamby knows a thing or two about winning. Two-time All-Star with Las Vegas.
Now I remember watching her. I mean, she was originally drafted. Let's not forget, Las Vegas was the San Antonio Stars,
right?
#6 pick overall, and she brought a tremendous amount of hustle in her early years, and that is still ever so present in her game right now.
They're gonna reset the clock. Referee Tony Patillo making sure that he gets cheated out of any time. We are enjoying our time here
I was going to say,
in Edmonton. This has been fantastic.
Please squeeze out every second is what we're saying.
That's what I need, and I need more. I'm like somebody who's got a bad addiction when it comes to basketball. I just can't get enough. Hamby on her wallet makes the catch, and she's going to be tied up by Ogwumike.
I was hoping for some crazy pass just to complete an incredible catch. On the back pedal, she got a little caught up with her feet, but look, she was looking.
Somewhere Dallas Cowboy fans wanted a guy named Jackie Smith to make a catch like that in the Super Bowl, but you guys will have to Google that one. Great catch by Hamby. At least they get a held ball, and if they can control the tip, they'll have 11 on the shot clock, and it will not register as a turnover. No such luck. Skylar Diggins-Smith comes away with it. In the lane, lays it up and in. Great change of direction down Main Street. Seattle stretches the lead to 7. Lexi Brown had a great look, couldn't get it to go. Hamby, great ball handling. And she's fouled on her foray to the cup.
And here's Diggins-Smith. So quick and explosive too, so finds the lane. Here you go with the cross right down the middle. Again, you go till somebody stops you, and the help defense is so concerned with what's on the perimeter that nobody steps in to help.
At the line for the Los Angeles Sparks,
Dearica Hamby knocks down the first one. LA trying to hold on to the rope a little bit here. As Hamby shaves the lead down to 5. Seattle operating in the front court, in front of the coaching staff and the bench, the offense right in front of them. Diggins-Smith, screen and roll, kicks to Vivians. Her drive no good. Banka Mengiadu underneath, can't get it away.
I love that offensive set. Seattle set up that double drag up top, which allowed Skylar to just play and try to find something, and then you've got tough rebounders inside. So this team has to be really excited about what they're going to do offensively this year with the weapons they have out there.
Ogwumike no good on the fall away. LA a chance to shave the lead a little further. Transition D by Seattle, knocking the ball out of bounds. Joyner Holmes will check in. The All-Star, 8-time NBA All-Star, Ogwumike checks out. This is Cameron Brink, Lasia Clarendon. Lexi Brown, great pass inside, and Dearica Hamby clamps it and lays it in. Seattle, great ball movement, but Diggins-Smith has the shot contested and then reaches in and makes the steal. And this is going to be an easy one for Joyner Holmes. Skylar Diggins-Smith makes the play.
Every single possession, because I gotta say, Dearica Hamby looked like she was heating up a bit. Big bucket, big rebound. Then with the bust out dribble, Diggins-Smith, I think she took the missed shot a little to heart, dug down deeper on the defensive end, and then called for the full court press, by the way.
22 points off turnovers for Seattle. And the score by Clarendon. Diggins-Smith is gassed. She has looked to Coach Quinn at the bench and said, I need a break. And
Coach Quinn's probably saying, oh, wait till a dead ball.
Jade Melvin ready to check in. Skylar has it taken away. Hamby in the lane. Great footwork, lays it up and in. Timeout, Seattle.
Well, Dearica Hamby, if you watch nothing of her, watch her feet, because every single time I mean, the battle's already done when she catches the ball. She knows how to use her feet. She knows the wide base, the patience, the rip through, and the kiss off the glass. Jonesy, more of that when we come back, please.
WNBA on TSN is powered by FanDuel. FanDuel, proud partner of the WNBA.
Well, it's a family affair. We've got babies, we've got toddlers, and we've got a grown adult in Darnell Nurse. Darnell, I'm sure you're very, very happy that the timing worked out with your playoff run, giving you a little bit of space to see your sister play.
Yeah, no, the timing worked out great to be able to be here and support, and it's always fun when I get to watch my sister do her craft at the highest level.
She said she was quite nervous for a game like this. I imagine that you've not really seen your sister quite nervous during her playing career.
Yeah, I mean, she said she's nervous, but she keeps it together pretty well and not showing it. Yeah, no, it's, as I always say to her, she's very inspiring in all that she does in this sport. And as a brother, you're always so proud just to watch her play.
I mean, you think about just the ways in which she's able to advocate through broadcasting, through playing. You mentioned the pride that you have as a brother. What don't we see as Canadians about who Kia Nurse is?
Just her care for everyone. I mean, it's it's one thing, the ability that she has on the court, and obviously broadcasting is something that she's stepped into and been really comfortable with. But she's always trying to find ways to be a part of the community and not only be prevalent in her own sport, but also find ways to give back. And I think that's a huge part of who she is.
Well, Darnell, best of luck to you as you continue your playoff run, and thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Number 6, Jade Melvin.
Well, the Oilers will be taking on the Canucks, a Western Canada battle. We haven't had a Canadian team hoist Lord Stanley's mug in a while. Maybe one of those two will do it. Maybe the Leafs will do it. Still alive right now. Hamby up top. LA, time running down. Hamby says, I'll take 3. Drops it in the bottom of the well.
That was heavily contested, too. That wasn't an easy shot, but sometimes you got no choice. You got to fire away.
Can't play and think.
There she is.
Cameron Brink with a large rejection. She says to Jade Melvin, sorry, the kitchen is closed right now.
Well, this is business as usual. Cameron Brink, 424 career blocks at Stanford, holds that all-time record. The next, number 2 at Stanford, 273 from Jane Appel. She dominated that category. Of all the things she does, I would say rim protection might be at the top of the list.
Victoria Vivian says, no problem, I'll take it outside. Kitchen's closed, I'll do a takeout. 3 ball, cuts the lead, or gives Seattle a 1-point lead. Lasia Clarendon lays it in. Sammy Whitcomb drops another 3 deep.
And she is a 3-point specialist. And that's an easy shot for her. And I think when her 2 feet are on the court, she's stretching defense.
Lexi Brown penetrates. Kia Nurse 3, rattles, doesn't go. Brink soaring in for the rebound, can't squeeze it, and it goes out of bounds to Seattle. The Storm will bring it front court with a 2-point lead, 60-58, 2:33 to go, third quarter, as we are winding it down in this third frame. Jade Melvin will bring it front court against Blake Dietrich. Dietrich, a Princeton grad. Whitcomb in the lane, jump stop, the floater no good. Rebound, here comes Lexi Brown. Turns the corner into the lane, lefty finish no good, but the rebound back up and in from Hamby. Dearica Hamby doing some nice work on the offensive glass, Amy.
And as of late, I mean, LA is kind of dominating the paint. Seattle's hit a couple threes.
We're tied at 60. Dulcie Fenka. Mengiadu, off balance shot, no good. On the drive, Rakia Jackson is fouled, and she'll go to the line.
There's a little give and go action. And these are the reads that you love after, again, 5 whole practices, workouts together. Dearica Hamby gets the ball, and then Jackson cuts right to the rim. Stutters a little bit, but holds her balance, and then challenges the shot. Vivians didn't like it. It wasn't a hard hit.
Well, the rookie steps in and knocks down the first free throw. LA down by as many as 7 at one point. You said it looked like they were just kind of holding on to the rope there, but they've got a 2-point lead now.
Shooting 54% from the field on the game. A team that came in with big defensive expectations. Sure as heck has had an efficient night.
Melvin, a great look on the kick out from Holmes, can't get it down. Davis in the lane with the rebound. Coach Quinn wanted the swing, and Davis turns it over.
Excellent defense from the Sparks. All 5 engaged for the entire shot clock.
Hamby on the back now. Finds Jackson. Hesitation and lays it in on the baseline. Just a little stutter there, Amy. A little high dribble, a little hezzy, as the kids call it.
Then some celebration over. Look at, there's your 2 lottery picks right there.
Yep.
Rickea Jackson. Really excited to see her this first season in the league, because I think she's going to find her fit very quickly. That was just an excellent baseline attack, but then did you notice the finish off the glass?
Yep.
Just changing that hand inside, and took her all, what, 2.5 steps, from long range, because she's so long and explosive.
Holmes 3, no good. Rebound, Harms out of bounds. And LA will try to add to their 4-point lead. If you're Coach Miller, you're very happy with the compete level that your team is showing.
Well, they've cut down the turnovers. They've got 21 on the game, but they had 17 at half. And so, quick math, Jonesy.
Yeah.
It's 4 and a quarter.
Brink in the lane, floats it up and in. Tough move on the bounce by Cameron Brink.
Your 2 lottery picks for LA are in there making things happen in this tight game.
On the fly by Brink. Joyner Holmes with the shot fake. And shot blockers will go for that. Nice offensive move there by Holmes. Again, adjusting the clock. 16.5 seconds to go. 3rd quarter. This is Blake Dietrich. Lexi Brown. Game clock winding down. Doubled. Yeru into the lane. Has it blocked. Ooh, by Fanka Mengiadu.
Dulcie said, "Get out of my house." That was not very Canadian of her, was it?
No, it's like I said, they're closing the kitchen at a different hour here in Edmonton.
And I say that because Coach Quinn said, I don't think there's one mean person in Canada. Pre-game. And
Lexi Brown fires at the buzzer, no good. One more lap of the track to go. We got a great one going. Preseason game number 1 for these teams. LA by 4. Last lap of the track. Sparks leading it. We'll come back for the finish right here on TSN. The WNBA Canada game is presented by Tangerine Bank, proud partner of the WNBA and their fans. Kayla has more with the Storm leading scorer, Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Skylar, I see you out there communicating with the vets. What are you seeing in terms of what needs to be the difference into the 4th?
Yeah, I think defensively, LA, they're a team full of, young players and players trying to make their way on the team, and so they playing with a sense of urgency. So we got to match their energy. They came out with a lot of energy to start the 3rd, and I think we got more to give on the defensive end.
And how much of that is in the transition game? Because you guys were forcing some turnovers there and finding success. Is that the communication with your group?
Yeah, we've been forcing them to try to speed it up a little bit, try to get the ball, their main ball handlers' hands. But it's really their bigs right now attacking the old glass and running the floor. And so we got to gang rebound.
Good luck in the fourth quarter.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see if that comes to pass as right away Seattle starts with a foul.
Well, that's one big adjustment that LA made. They had taken 8 shots in the paint in that first half. In the third quarter alone, they took 13 shots in the paint. So they've gotten downhill. They've gotten really tough around the rim.
Well, they're playing with some size right now on the floor, LA.
And let's not forget, and I do want to make mention of it, Seattle's missing one of their core 4 players.
Yes.
I think their X factor in Ezi Magbagor, 6'4", she's in her 5th season. She's still a little bit raw. Nneka was talking about that, but this is an all-star, second-team all-defensive player. Only player to start all 40 games last year. So as much as you want to talk about the big 3, I think Ezi is going to be instrumental to their season this year, and she's not available, as well as Nika Mule. I mean, their UConn guard who has visa issues, and it is what it is. If you've worked or played in the States and you're not from there, it happens.
Alana Coates into the game for Seattle. Does some work on the offensive glass. And she's fouled, and Elena's going to get a couple of free throws coming off the bench. And an immediate impact paying dividends to start this fourth quarter. We got a good one here. Very competitive game for the first preseason outing. You think of the limited training camp time.
The WNBA on TSN is powered by FanDuel. FanDuel, proud partner of the WNBA.
Coates on the line. Knocks down 2 very calmly after sitting on the bench for 3 quarters. Seattle with some full court pressure. Brink comes back as the release.
Oh, there you go. Your 6'4" center. No problem. Get it over half court and then snap into your offense.
Dietrich finds Brink. This is Cook. Brink with the pull-up. Rattles, doesn't go. And just what Skylar Diggins-Smith talked about. LA crashing the offensive glass.
Well, when you're trying to box out that size inside, it's all about positioning, right? But then also not just positioning, you've really got to drive back. So we talk about the perimeter players for LA, but to your point, Jonesy, Sparks have went big.
Melvin almost takes it from Dietrich. Brink inside. Turnaround, fall away, no good, but she's fouled. Nice footwork there by Cameron Brink on the Dirk Nowitzki-esque 1-foot follow-away.
In isolation, calm, composed, with some rhythm. But when you look at Cameron Brink, and you talk about #2 pick overall and her excellence in her career, there are 3 players in 25 years at the collegiate level that have went over the 1,800 points, 1,200 rebounds, 200 assists, and 400 blocks. Cameron Brink sits with Brittany Griner and Courtney Paris. Those are incredible numbers.
Yep.
And well, we have a second with Cam on the free throw line. Huge congratulations to Tara Vanderveer, who's just retired after 38 seasons at Stanford. And Kurt Miller talked about having players, he's coached a lot out of her program, and they come pro-ready, but people ready.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about the winningest coach in NCAA history is Coach Tara, and I think her players really speak for herself and her legacy.
Listen, you come to the pro level, you got to have some foundation, some basics. Sammy Whitcomb knocks down a 3. And you play in a good program, you're going to learn the right stuff. Cook into the lane, pull-up jumper, rattles. Yuru fights for the glass. And LA again pounding the offensive glass. Rakia Jackson picked it up, and she is fouled.
Yeah, but Euro, did you see what she did? She held off her defender with one hand and was grabbing the ball with the other hand.
Somewhere.
That's club. You know what I call it, Jonesy? That's club post. And you can't just walk in. You got to get a stamp. You might have to pay a price. That is tough stuff inside.
Somewhere the great rebounders of yesteryear are saying that's how you do it. Cook pulls up, or spots up off the screen and knocks down the jumper. LA by 5. Melbourne finds Holmes. Whitcomb. Sammy works near side, and Cook locks her up. It'll go out of bounds. It'll stay with Seattle. Delay of game, White, as they tried to figure out where everybody was supposed to be on the play, and this is early, right? Preseason.
Yes. This is the one, you know, where you look at it and it's obvious, because outside of that, I think it was pretty polished.
While they waited,
it was worth it.
It was worth it as Sammy Whitcomb drops a 3 in the bottom of the well. All right, we need a little time, but we got it.
Well, that's how you say, coach. Don't get too mad. Have a short-term memory on that, because the execution was pretty perfect.
Dietrich drives, blocked by Coates, but Yeru there to put it back up and in. And then Dietrich on the steal. Cook inside. Jackson, no good. LA missed a golden opportunity there.
I thought Cook was going to pull it, and I was looking forward to that, because that's the type of plays that give you that extra surge in the fourth quarter.
Melvin into the lane, and Dietrich strips her. LA coming back with numbers. Burrell, kick out. Cook, spot up 3, rattles, doesn't go. She's gonna get another opportunity. Same result. And Kayla Davis could only get one hand on the rebound.
Yeah, keep going. You just love that they go back to Cook, right? Because that's the adjustment there, and that's your teammates trusting you to adjust and hit a shot. So you really love that from LA in terms of the chemistry and cohesion on the offense end.
LA by 4, halfway through the fourth quarter.
That's the right tag. That's the right tag, like tag that high. Good job, that's okay. Keep using your hands. Jump. Yeah! It's a stuck. I'm stuck. I'm still stuck. Say something wild. I have a mic on. Huh? Say something wild. I have a mic on. Me and Kia have the same birthday. Yeah! Hell yeah,
Kia Nurse wearing the mic for us. Some sounds of the game inside this matchup between the Sparks and the Storm.
The irony in this is that you hear those sounds, and Kurt Miller talks about her being such a calming presence, but understanding when to get fired up. And I have to say, Jonesy, while we're talking Kia for a second, not only is this an incredible moment for her, because even though over a decade on the national team, you can probably count on her hands how many times she's played here in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, she deserves this moment to bring the W and to be a part of this game, to come out hitting 3 balls. That woman is preparing to play her 3rd Olympic Games this summer.
Yeah,
I mean, that is just incredible.
She's been absolutely wonderful for this game in this country. Kiana Williams down low. Quay Miller couldn't finish on the conversion. And LA, with their 4-point lead, will bring it back. Mia Clouden. Originally from Detroit, Michigan State product. To Jackson. Cook knifing through the lane, lays it up, no good. Zia Cook getting into it on the bounce and punishing the Storm.
Well, if you're Kurt Miller, you're okay with this possession. This is a lot of young players out here who late in the shot clock struggled to find a little bit of a clear lane until right at the end. But when you can put the ball in one player's hands as that clock's winding down, I mean, you saw them try to the entire possession. They're trying to get through their offense. I thought Seattle did a great job of actually pushing them up to the half court. So they were having a tough time kind of getting into it, but then just staying calm and composed, not turning the ball over. That was a problem in the first half. So making some big-time adjustments in games. You see Coach Miller, who also told us, Jonesy, is that he feels while it's his second season with the Sparks that this really is year one. Last year they had Nneka Ogwumike. They thought they could bring in some pieces and build around her, but he said she actually helped us make that decision when she decided to part ways in free agency. So this is kind of year one. Then
Clear direction.
Two-time WNBA Coach of the Year. He's a great coach, but this kind of feels like that year where he's really going to start building around a new core.
Clear direction. Here's a turnover. Burrell, front court, and her shot is blocked. You know, you talked about Cook on that last play, Amy. Sometimes when things break down, you just got to make a play. And when you can handle the ball and get to your spots like that, there's no substitute.
Again, experienced player.
Burrell lays it up and in. With more on Coach Miller, Kayla Gray, what do you got?
Hey guys, yeah, it's been a long while coming from coaches. We spoke with him pregame, but also Kia, who said basically it felt like she was running away from him for so long. But just what she knows about Coach Kurt Miller when she had joined the team was that he likes to cultivate a team that plays with a chip on their shoulder. As you see there, players that come in with something to prove, and that's exactly the type of mindset that Kia says she has this season. So to finally get to work and collaborate with Coach is something Kia's looking forward to.
That's a 10-point lead now after the Jackson tough layup in traffic. LA by 10, under 5 to go. Seattle's got to mount something. Time now for tonight's Game Changer presented by Canadian Tire. Amy, Dearica Hamby has been terrific.
Right, and I mean, you look at her numbers, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. She's 7 for 9 from the field. But then there's the eye test, 3 offensive rebounds. Her team has 14 offensive rebounds that they've changed. They've converted into 18 second chance points. Josie did 4 second chance points at half, and I thought in the third quarter, Dearica Hamby came out, and she did so many things off ball, footwork, put her team in position, and in her 10th season, this is another vet. When you talk about leadership, sometimes it's by example. And the way she came out in that third quarter for the Sparks, I thought that was you do it smart, but you do it hard. And I love her game. Again, I just think her footwork is elite, but then when you take that with her drive and the way she gets after it on the court, that's a tough woman to stop.
8-0 run by LA over the last 2:33 to establish this 10-point lead. And Seattle gets back on the scoring column. I'm watching the defense for Seattle coming down the stretch here. They need to dig in, and LA has been terrific in this second half. The rookie, Jackson, up top. Pass a little bit too much air, and Quay Miller makes the steal and then proceeds to give it right back, unfortunately for Seattle. Good hustle from LA. Taylor Meixel made the steal.
And Jonesy, when you look at Seattle, these are, I would say, some audition players, right? They're fighting for roster spots. And so Noelle Quinn, in a tight game, you're down, your backs are a little bit up against the wall.
I want to see what you got.
This is where you earn a contract. And then I'd say it starts on the defensive end always when you're down. You have to get stops first.
Let's see if Seattle can get a stop here, and let's see what LA's execution is like. Offensive foul.
There you go. That's a great way to do it. So much pressure.
Yep. Lee Uru. Didn't get the feet set. Here comes Kiana Williams. 24th turnover by the Sparks. Sammy Whitcomb, quick catch and shoot, got it. Man, that was a quick release, she drops in the bottom of the well.
From what I've seen over her career, she's one of the more ignitable players in the WNBA. She can get hot and then look out.
Oh, terrific drive. Ray Burrell coming down the baseline, and the finish. Whitcomb, kick out, Davis, swing. Floater up, no good. Kiana Williams had a look, couldn't get it down. Burrell inside. Giroux with terrific footwork, can't get it down, but finds the rebound. And it's going to be Seattle ball as Kiana Williams knocks it off Nia Clouden out of bounds. Clouden thought it was their ball.
Yeah, the rip and go, but then how about the pullback, the hesitation, cross, and the drive from Ray Burrell? So that's pretty, and that's a nice, skilled offensive player right there.
It's a Tennessee special.
A lot of those.
Yep. And here comes another one. Jackson bringing it front court. LA, no pun intended, nursing a 7-point lead. Jackson misses the three. Whitcomb gets a screen. Kick out pass deflected, but Kayla Davis runs it down. Oh, Whitcomb, great pass. Elena Coates lays it in. The breakdown dribble, Amy.
Sammy's getting to work. As the vet out there, she's got the ball in her hands, and she's setting her teammates up for success.
Burrell, they swing it. Clouden in the corner. Shot clock running down. And they're going to have 1 second, or are they saying shot clock violation?
Well, Seattle's got 19 assists on 28 of their made field goals. So while they have some major players who can get going in isolation, moving that rock around is always going to be a great way to break down defenders. Nice finish from Coates inside.
Kenzie Forbes from USC checking into the game. Billings takes the three, it's wiped out. There was only one on the shot clock, and her hesitation cost LA the three.
And they're going to take a look at it, and I really appreciate that.
I thought it was late with 1 second, but that's why we have replay. We're going to get it right. Your officials tonight, we told you Tony Patillo was wearing number 76, and she will stand away from the table as Isaac Barnett and Claire Aubrey will look it over. I think it was still in her hand.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to overrule.
So the shot clock violation will give
that's right.
Seattle
there's your
the
shot.
ball. Yep.
And it's unfortunate for Mo because
on the floor has been confirmed as a shot clock violation. Game clock will be set to 2:01 at the time of the violation.
Well, we get the
after review, the call on the floor
microphone
is confirmed.
I was just gonna say,
violation.
that's some skill, and we all heard him loud and clear.
Isaac
no
Benton,
mic.
He got some stuff there. Just keep reffing. Don't be coming for our jobs yet with that voice.
Put that on the highlight reel, the audition tape.
Jade Melbourne, front court. Storm down 5, under 2 minutes to go. It's money time. Down the stretch we come. And Seattle turns it over. Coach Quinn not happy. Forbes, 3, no good. And they're going to get the offensive foul on the rebound attempt on LA.
A minute 35. I love that both coaches have a lot of their younger players or those players that are really fighting for the roster spots, because this is a tight game. This is about late game execution in front of a packed house.
Right.
You know, I mean, you could not have asked for more in this crowd. You saw the stars, but now you're getting to see this different level of compete and what these minutes mean to these women.
Williams up top. Kicks it far side. Miller, shot clock running down. It's at 5. Melbourne gets into the lane, throws it up, no good, but the foul going to be called on Clouden. We talked about it before. We saw Zaya Cook do it. Sometimes desperate measures, desperate times called for desperate measures, and Jade Melbourne just put her head down and said, I got to get to the cup. I'm sorry.
Well, we already told you the Australian was the youngest player in the WNBA last season in her rookie year, but she played in 29 games off the bench. So she got experience. And by the way, playing alongside a Jewel Lloyd, like literally learning by watching one of the best.
Yeah.
And so while there's so many great backcourt players here, you have to believe that players like herself, Nika Mule coming in, they're going to figure it out quickly, just practicing all the time against the best guards in the league.
One possession game, a minute to go. Burrell down the baseline near side, kicks out. Giroux, jumper no good. Here comes Kayla Davis. Melbourne up top. Gets a screen, 3 for the tie, short, and it hit the baseline.
Well, you saw Noelle Quinn. She was a little frustrated. She wanted this lineup to snap into their offense a little bit quicker, but the confidence from Melbourne to take that. We are not done yet here, Jonesy.
Got a good finish. Come back for the final 38.7. A sellout in Edmonton, 16-655. To watch the second WNBA Canada game, and there is our Hall of Famer, Canada Basketball Hall of Famer Tammy Sutton-Brown. Played 12 years, won a title with the Indiana Fever, Markham's finest. And
Jonesy, when I was young, she was my hero. She was I mean, when you talk about stud, when you talk about that forward center position, and you have to just believe that players like that who have given so much to the game, Canadians, sit here today for the second year in a row and see this type of excitement and energy. And Jonesy, I'm looking around an hour being half before the game when the doors open, and it's groups of young women.
Yeah.
Those are teams. Those are basketball teams that are coming in, and they finally get to see it in person, and that really can ignite something special in someone's soul.
absolutely, they can touch it. They can now touch it. Big possession here. LA by 3, they own the orange. Clouden pulls for 3, no good. Long rebound, Seattle, and they take a timeout. Coach Quinn looking over at the officials saying, we're going to advance, right? We're going to work to the front court and see what we got. And Amy, we talk about it. This is also not only the players, but a chance for a coach to practice something. Hey, I found this play. Let's try it. This might be the time. We'll see if it works or not.
Try it, but then also who can execute. And that goes for both sides.
Right.
LA prides themselves on the defensive end. This is a dictate and disrupt philosophy in Kurt Miller. So with his young squad, he's going to say, hey, on screens, we're going to do this. Maybe, here's the doubles. This is what we're willing to give up. Do you foul down 3? This is always a great conversation to have, right? I'm starting to lean into it a little bit. I like the foul because I've seen too many game winners tie, where it could be over.
Yeah, if it's more, to me, philosophically, you watch the time. I agree, though. There's a lot of game winners and game tires coming on threes.
I'm giggling because looking right inside the Seattle huddle, I look at Skylar, I look at Jewel Lloyd. You think they want to be out there right now?
Yeah,
They're like, Coach, give me the ball. But understanding that there's going to be moments like that for them coming up.
Yeah, my time will come.
I remember Sue Bird and Breanna Stewart and that Seattle community and that fan base and how fired up they were about their hoops over the years. And you can't help to think that they are getting ready for another special season with what they are putting out on the court this year.
Sue Bird joined the ownership group in late April. All right, what do you got? Seattle Storm looking for a tie. Quay Miller will inbound. Coach Davis, Melbourne, and Williams on the floor. This is Davis. Dribble handoff, Melbourne. Off balance shot, no good from Williams. Rebound, they need the ball. 10 seconds, and they fouled Clouden, who almost turned it over, but retrieved it. Kiana Williams had a hand in that passing lane.
Well, and I loved her intensity on the defensive end. She missed the shot, she got the shot, got 2 feet down, was drifting a little bit, but I mean, LA was struggling a little to get it over half right there, right? Maybe get the foul, but you almost wish you had a teammate in the area that could have doubled that up. Nonetheless, if you're Noel Quinn, you got film. Are you happy with the execution? Are you happy with the shot? And sometimes in those positions, Jonesy, we look at the shooter. How about everybody else? Did you set a screen? Did you get to the spot that you were supposed to? Was the spacing good? All this stuff matters so much to these coaches.
Clouden knocks down 2 huge free throws. This is the reset timeout where the ball will advance.
Reset timeout.
And Seattle will have it front court.
I know there are so many Seattle Storm fans saying, put Sammy Wickham in the game, because we've seen her hit so many of those shots. This is about the future. But competitors want to compete, right?
Kiana Williams will inbound right in front of us. 5-point game, 7.1 to go. Seattle in desperate need of a score. Melbourne, she's not going to get it up. And that'll do it. The Sparks clamp down in the second half and come from behind and grab the win. It's a final in Edmonton. LA 84, Seattle 79.
Well, you couldn't have asked for more in terms of the Stars started this game and they put on a show, and then you got a tight game at the end. You got the high level of compete. As for the players, they got international energy. You talk about a global game. Yes, it can absolutely work north of the border.
Big love from the players to the fans as both the Sparks and the Storm turn and acknowledge the fan support here in Edmonton. 16,655, a sellout as Canada does a terrific job hosting the WNBA.
This is tradition now, Jonesy, right? 2 years, we can start calling it a rich tradition.
Well, at some point, they want their own team, but with Canada's own, here's Kayla Gray with Kia Nurse.
Thanks so much. I'm going to just let you take this in, Kia. Wave, this is you. This is the work that you've put in, showing up and manifesting. What's going through your mind right now?
Just gratitude. I mean, 16,000 some odd people came out today to watch this and to be a part of this and to be a part of the movement that is women's basketball and women's sports right now. And, you know, just to like look on the sideline and see my parents and my brother and my nephews and people I know, it's crazy, honestly. Like the different jerseys are different aspects. There's a Liberty jersey over there. My Canada jersey's been in the fans. People already have the LA one. I don't know if they got that. But to see those different phases in my career and everything that's kind of gone into it, to then have this opportunity is just really special.
Well, we'll circle back as to where we can see this game grow, but this game today, obviously there was a lot of conversations. You guys only had like, what, 4 or 5 practices, but the foundation that you're able to build, what are you noticing about what allowed you to get the win with your group so far?
I mean, this is a resilient group, and our coach likes to put together teams that have people that got chips on their shoulders and that have gone through things and are resilient. And I thought we played really well today, and there was some toughness to us. Transition was good, just finding different things that we were good at. It helped us win this game, but there's a lot to build on, but it's a good start. It's nice to win the first one.
Kia, you talk about that chip. You've come through and gone through so much to get back in this moment. 7 years in the league, girl. That's a long time, and you're still here. Intentionally, what are you hoping to accomplish this season?
honestly, just to have another great season and to find my confidence and my love for basketball in the way that I had it prior to my injury. Like, it's been a roller coaster of emotions mentally to get back to that place, but I love basketball with all my heart, and my job every single day is to run up and down a court and put a ball in a hoop. Like, what better way to live my life? And just to find that joy and that confidence, I think LA is the perfect place for me to do that.
Well, thanks for answering your call. Kia, congratulations.
Thank you.
Kia Nurse comes home and gets a win. The LA Sparks win it 84-79. Edmonton, take a bow, tip of the cap, as you did a terrific job. The WNBA Canada game coming off terrifically. For Kayla and Amy and many, many talented people you don't see on the other side of the camera, thank you for watching us here on TSN.